Hey everybody, well we're getting ready to start our new notes for the week. We're going to start off this Monday using Chapter 7, Section 4. We are now going to officially divide exponents. This is the one that normally is most scary to students. We just have to remember that we're dealing with individual pieces. Nothing that we're going to do is going to be outside of our realm of knowledge or expertise, provided we can follow a few simple directions, okay? The first thing that I want to make sure that we're getting right is dividing. When it comes to coefficients, remember coefficients are, we just need to divide them. They're just numbers. If we have like 3x squared, okay, 3x squared is just telling us, 3 is the coefficient. It's telling us we have 3x squares here, or that there are 3 of them that are technically being like multiplied together. So we don't want to have to write 3 of them every time, so we use the 3 in the front. And then we're good to go with that. So we deal with coefficients just like we deal with any number. If we see them in front, we have to divide them. We're good to go. Okay. When dealing with the exponents now, we have for the variables, the base is going to stay the same. That's kind of like the leading trend for all of these. Base stays the same, and we subtract the exponents. Subtract the exponents. The important part here that we have to remember is we need to do this wherever the exponent is larger. So like this first example here, look, we have the larger one is going to be in the denominator. So we want to make sure we highlight that. If you're writing your problem down, it's like we should all be writing all of our work down. Highlight where that is. Then say, oh, I'm gonna highlight the coefficients, so I deal with them separately, and then I know I'll deal with my exponents separately, and then we start to do our work. 4 divided by 2. Well, 4 divided by 2, last time I checked, is a 2. And then we have to look at this. So since the exponent is bigger in the denominator, we're doing our work downstairs in the denominator. We have 3, and we subtract the exponent from upstairs. So 3 minus 2 is 1, or just a single x. So it's 2 divided by x, and that would be our final answer. Look, we took the coefficients and divided them first. Then we did the work for the x's and made sure that we kept it up here in the numerator. Sorry, the denominator. If we would have done our work in the numerator, let's say we didn't think about this, okay? And we had 2, because upstairs is this a 2. 2 minus 3. Well, what happens here? Well, 2 minus 3 becomes 2 to the negative 1, because 2 minus 3 is negative 1. And then we know from our rule of negative exponents, oh, you're not allowed to keep the negative upstairs, so it has to go downstairs, and then it becomes positive. We don't want to add extra work to ourselves, okay? So there's no need to do this step if you make sure that you're doing your subtraction wherever that exponent is larger. Let's look at this next one. We deal with the coefficients first. 5 divided by 60. Well, 5 goes into 5 one time. 5 goes into 60 how many times? Let's think. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. 12 times. If you have to count by 5s to get there, go for it. Whenever we don't have a calculator, we have to do what we have to do. Where is our exponent larger? Our exponent is larger in the numerator, so that's where we're dealing with all of the exponents. So 13 minus 7. Now we don't need to keep the 1 here since there's something else up here, so we have x. And 13 minus 7. Well, that's what? 6. 13 minus 7 is 6. Over 12. 12 just comes down. And you are absolutely done. Okay, that's about as easy as it gets, guys, when we have just numbers and a single variable. Look at this last one here. This one here has 2 different variables. Okay, so again, we have to deal with the numbers first. And then we're going to tackle just the x's. Then we'll do just the y's. Okay, so let's do this first. So we have 8 and 24. So I know that 8 goes into 8 one time. All right, and 8 goes into 24 3 times. 16, 17, 19, yeah, definitely 3 times. Look at our x's. We're dealing with what? We have the larger numerator for, it's up here in the numerator. That's where that larger exponent is. And in the y's, we can see down in the y's that we have it. The y's, it's down here in the denominator. So we have to be careful. So the x's we deal with up here. The y's we're gonna deal with down here. So we have 4 minus 2. And for the y's, we have 8 minus 5. Then we clean it up. Or we simplify. 4 minus 2 is 2. 8 minus 5 is 3. And there we go. We have simplified this to its smallest setting. Well, how are they going to make this tougher for us? Let's see. Oh, look. They're going to just make us do more of the same. Or maybe they make the numbers bigger as we go. So again, we have 3 pieces in this one. We have the whole numbers, the coefficients. We have the b variables. We have the c variables. So let's deal with the numbers first. Well, we have 14 divided by 28. Well, I know 14 goes into 14 once. And I know that 28, well, 14 goes into 28 2 times. Because that's what 8 plus 2. Yeah, twice. So we're going to have a 2 in the denominator. 1/2. Now, if we look at our variables, I can see that this one's bigger in the denominator. B's are bigger in the denominator. C's are bigger in the numerator. So let's tackle each piece individually. So the b's are going to be downstairs. We have 4 minus 3. And the c's are in the numerator. So we're going to have 25 minus 10. So again, we're really not doing anything more than dividing and some simple subtraction. Let's clean this up so that we have our final simplified. We don't need the 1 upstairs because there's stuff up there. And it's the c's. So c, we have 25 minus 10 is 15. And for b, we have 4 minus 3 is 1. Don't put the 1. We don't need it. There is our final answer. C to the 15th power divided by 2 times b. This one, look what they did to us here. We have what? Numbers. We have an x's, y's, and z's. Just, we've got to do these first. We're going to do our work for the x's in the numerator, our work for the z's or q's and the numerator, and the z's are going to be done in the denominator. We've laid out the structure of how we're doing our work. Let's do this. So clearly 5 goes in the 5 one time. All right. Now we have to figure out, well, how many times does 5 go into 125? We can break this up. I know that 5 goes into 100 20 times. And I know that 5 goes into 25 5 times. So 125 divided by 5, this is all mental math. I'm doing it all mentally, is going to be 25. Remember, if you didn't have a calculator, you could have done it the old-fashioned way. 5 goes into 12 2 times, which is 10. 5 goes into 25 5 times with no remainder, and you're good to go. See, that's how, if you really have to do it, That's fine. If it's just a day with no calculator, do whichever way works for you, okay? Now we're going to deal with the x's. They're upstairs. So we have 2 minus that invisible 1. The q's are upstairs. So we have an 8 minus 3. The z's are going to be downstairs in the denominator. So we have a 13 minus 6. All right, now we cleaned it up. Well, there's no need for the 1 because we have other stuff up in the numerator. So we have an x. Well, 2 minus 1 is 1. We don't write that. We have a q. 8 minus 3 is a 5. The 25 is just coming along for the ride. And 13 minus 6. Please don't be confused by these, guys. This is simple math. You're going to have, what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, so 7. If you have to use the fingers, I guess you could do it. I won't be upset. I just want you to get the problem right so that we pass that EOC test. There you go. X times q to the 5th power divided by 25. Z, don't forget to put your variable in. Z to the 7th power. How can they make this worse? Uh-oh, that never looks good. The little guy screaming, oh my gosh. Oh my lord, look at that. We have what? Numbers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different types because these aren't the same. Piece by piece, guys. That's as easy as it gets. What 12 divided by 2 is 6 in the numerator. The A's are bigger upstairs. 5 minus 2. The B's are bigger upstairs. 4 minus 3. C's are bigger downstairs. It's again 4 minus 3. D's are bigger downstairs. 5 minus 2. G. There's only one G, so it has to stay downstairs. This one's easy. Anything to the power of 0 becomes a 1. So we don't have to write it there. And the F's are bigger downstairs. We have 7 minus 1. Well, here we go. We just have to clean this up now. Well, the 6 stays up top. Let's do this. A. 5 minus 2 is 3. So it's A to the 3rd power. The B's are upstairs in the numerator. So 4 minus 3 is 1, but we don't write that 1. It's the invisible math. C is downstairs. 4 minus 3, again, that's 1. D is downstairs. That is an ugly D. Five minus 2 is 3. G is all by itself, so it just comes along for the ride. And the F, 7 minus 1 is 6. And like that, this problem that looks absolutely horrible is fully simplified, and you're done. 6 a to the 3rd power times b divided by c times d to the 3rd power times g to the 6th power times f to the 6th power. And we are all done. Your homework today, guys, it is in Delta Math. Please make sure you are logging in and doing your homework as we do it. All right? Have a great one, and go get that homework done.